other so they use these kind of tools so that like they can use. So the market is like right now flooded with different kind of AI which you developers leverage. So before I deep further into, I would like to give a small introduction about myself. So about me, I was born and brought up in India, moved to UK a few years back to study at University of Manchester. Just a week ago I moved to Amsterdam. I'm just enjoying my move in 20s and just going and exploring different cultures, cuisines, meeting different people. So right now my new destination is Amsterdam. So until quite recently, I was working with the city of York as a web officer. Previously worked with Accenture as a software engineer. Currently, I'm focusing on some personal projects and right now I'm enjoying my move. So outside the work, my interests are cycling, traveling, astronomy, and aviation. As you can see the picture, I'm like right next to the pyramids. I love to travel a lot solo, so yeah, you can imagine the picture is not the best because I have to like always ask different random guys to take my pictures. So that's like one of the downside of traveling alone. So getting back to the topic itself, so is digital accessibility a could have or a must have? So just for let's start and so ideally it should be a must have. There are around 16.1 million people who in the UK who are disabled or who have like reported at least one disability, which accounts for like 24% of the population. Disability is not just physical disability. These disabilities range from sensory to intellectual impairments. All these kind of disabilities have different kind of loads on different type of people. Like it can those loads can be cognitive loads, perceptual loads, motor loads, memory loads, temporal loads, language loads. So these things restrict or like make the experience quite different for different users. So in the UK, it is a legal requirement to make websites accessible according to WCAG 2.2 AA standards. For public sector, it's a very strict criteria, but for private sector, it is expected to comply as well. It is good to comply just because it gives competitive edge to your website. If a person who is not able to use your website, he will just go and use different website. The the value of purple pound in the UK is very high. It is somewhere in billions. So you can imagine like if your website is not accessible, you're losing a very huge segment of the market. So I worked in the public sector, so we it's a very strict criteria for us just because not because just imagine there's a person who's in his 90s. He can't come to the council office or go to the government office. He is dependent on his family. He can't hear properly, so he can't talk on the with the customer service, and his hands shake, so it's very hard for him to like use the mouse. So he's totally dependent on his screen and on his keyboard. So we have to like take care of these kind of cases while designing and keeping them in mind. Right now a lot of companies page like websites uses accessibility statements, but these accessibility statements are just don't protect you from any of the legal claims or don't give you any legal immunity. If your website is not, you can still like can get a huge fine, or it can like affect the reputation of your company or your website. Companies use overlays are again like it's just like applying band-aid on a wound, but they don't solve the actual problem which is underlying. And one of the again other problem with overlays are like they just fix the symptoms but they don't solve the problems. And people who already have like different kind of assistive tools, the interaction between those assistive tools that people already have and overlays, the interaction is not the most ideal. So it it just like reduces the overall experience of the users for those particular users. So before I dive deeper further, just for awareness, I would like to give some of the WCAG 2.2 standards. So some of the standards that developers should keep in mind while designing or uh, designing some of those WCAG 2.2 standards are: don't suppress the font, don't suppress the focus outlines. These focus outlines are very important because keyboard users rely on these focus indicators while navigating through. Minimum size of different buttons, icons, and links should be at least 24 into 24 pixels. Drag and If there's a drag and drop functionality, there should be a keyboard pointer alternative to it. Don't ask user to re-enter data because it can increase the cognitive load on him. uh, don't block password managers because a lot of people are dependent on those password managers to fill in those data automatically. All form errors must be descriptive. It should not be like, if there's like a failure in particular stage, it should like clearly state that what was that particular error. It should not be like, say, it should not said like invalid data, or there was an error. It should clearly mention the error so that person can go and fix that to get his work done. Images of text should be actual text. It should not, the alternative shared text should never be like just an image or something. It should always be like a proper descriptive image, like descriptive, a text that actually describe what the actual image is. Don't use color contrast below 4.5 is to 1. It is not just restricted to background and images, but it's also like to text, buttons, and different elements that are there. Keyboard only navigation must work end to end because a lot of people are dependent on keyboards, and it should work end to end. It should it should it should include all the possible touch points and elements of a website. Focus order must be logical. It should from top to down. It should not be like randomly going from here or there. Links should describe their destination. It should never be like just click here. It should like describe what the actual link does. Autoplaying audio must be stoppable within 3 seconds. If there should be an option to mute it or stop it completely. Video needs caption. That's again one of the key requirements. And one of the caveat here is you can't use automatic auto-generated captions. The captions should be proper captions. So and again, the color alone must not convey any of the meanings. So that means like if there's like if you want to like if you want to like denote any of the stages like pass, failure, or success, failure, with any of the colors, use text with the color. So that, because a lot of people are color blind or they have like problem in differentiating between different colors like red and green, so it's better to like always use text to convey those kind of decisions. So right now, let's move on to accessibility depth. So accessibility depth is quite similar to technical depth. So it's like accumulation of unresolved accessibility issues that result from different design and development choices that don't comply with accessibility standards. It's same as technical depth, but in terms of accessibility, the longer you ignore it, deeper it gets, and harder it is to get to climb out. You can imagine the severity. Like I was just reading somewhere, like one of the government team that reported a case where it took like 2 to 3 sprint to deal with the accessibility issues defined in an audit at a cost of £50,000. That's quite significant, and that's quite significant amount, like quite significant amount of time and resources as well. So it's quite a significant issue. Uh, so common reasons for accessibility depth: dynamic and fast-paced environment. I come from council, so we used to have like a lot of things that were like happening then with a very small notice. So we had to like ship things in very small amount of time. Oftentimes, these kind of accessibility issues are not given proper time in the backlogs, so they never like come up and make it to the sprint itself. And Like I will give an example from for like another form is legacy and old website. So another example is like in councils and in the government services, there are like a lot of forms, a lot of PDFs and things that are like not accessible. So we inherit them, and it's like huge in thousands. To fix them, it requires a lot of money, resources, time. So it's not easy. So they just accumulate. So that's also one of the issues, and it's always perceived as nice to have. Like it's not a must have. In many teams it's considered nice to have. If it's there, it's good. If it's not, they don't much care. So those issues just like keep they just remain there, and that results in accessibility depth. And a lot of teams don't have like a proper governance and awareness. So the user stories, they don't have like proper um, definition of done, where like these requirements are clearly stated. So they just like pass, and story gets approved. So these are the common reasons for accessibility depth. So where AI can help in the present day. So AI can help right from coding and development. You can ask and it can like significantly reduce the time involved in non-dev related tasks right from the development phase. Just ask and chat gpt or any other tool that you guys like, can I have a snippet of accessible html using semantic tags, metadata, and like descriptions, seo tags, or summaries. These things can be generated quite easily, and you don't need to like waste a lot of your like important time in just figuring out these small things. Personas are very important while designing the user stories. It's very important to like have different personas in mind, so that you can like clearly work on those particular tasks. So ask ai to generate persona for different disabilities. It can help in prioritizing and categorizing different issues. That's again one of the key important things that is there. And in the testing phase, it can give you like good suggestions to improve, and like help in retro fixes as well. So uh, that's there. So where ai in the present day is not ready. In the beginning, I mentioned a key important term, that was empathy. When you design for the people, it's very important to keep empathy in mind. Empathetic design includes think about emotional and cognitive barriers, understand the context, ask what is beyond visible. Just imagine if you develop a form, uh, a person with autism they may abandon a form if like there are like a lot of labor like fields that are labored, or like the form is too long or something. A person with autism there may not like a lot of animations on the website. Maybe it can like increase the cognitive load on him. Anxiety from too many choices, if there are like a lot of options, that can increase the anxiety and fear of hitting the wrong button, selecting the wrong choice. So that's again an anxiety. So these all like reduce the experience and make it bad. So where AI, again, like ai lacks empathy, ai lacks lived experience, ai lacks human context and emotional intelligence. There can be an image. Maybe ai can like give a good descriptive tag to it, or give. But again, but that can have a very limited context. So better prompt, you will have to give the more and more input to it, so that it can give you the best descriptive text. Just imagine if there's like a bright red text on white background. It will pass the 4.5 is to 1 ratio, but it can cause eye strain or sensory overload for neurodivergent users. So that's not ideal. Again, AI brings efficiency, AI brings scale, AI brings consistency, but empathy brings dignity, inclusion, and emotional intelligence. The way forward: use AI powered solution and integrate them in overall development processes. You can like make things ship faster with accessibility in mind. Use it where limited context is all right, but don't just rely on generic responses. Give as much as input you can give, so that it can give you the best results. Human oversight is still very important. Humans should be involved in all the phases. If even if you generate some content, or if you generate something from AI, just keep an human eye so that nothing goes under the scanner. Involve users with disability in development and testing. If users are not available, if users are not available, then use AI. And it's always important to like listen to feedback, what feedback the people with disabilities give. If they give, just listen to it and work on it. Again, start early. That's very important. Accessibility depth always is cheaper to fix than prevent. It's always cheaper to prevent than fix. And that's all. Thank you so much.